When we dig to make the cellar, and we found an ancient Romanic town that
Amazing.
they make, iron. They work with the iron to make sword, shield, and other thing of that. But the particularity of our archaeological site are pitoi. Pitoi was an hole inside of that zone that Romanic use for the fermentation of high quality wines. So we are very lucky. Where we have to build the cellar, Romanic population made the wine.
Fascinating people with stories to share, fabulous wines and the best local foods to accompany them, and beautiful places to discover and visit. All of this and more on Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on the Italian Wine Podcast. Join me for a new episode every Tuesday. Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Today I'm delighted to continue a special sub-series that highlights the winners of the prestigious 5-Star Wines competition that took place in April, just prior to Vinitaly 2025. Those wines that scored more than 90 points have been included in the 5-Star 2025 book, while the very best wines in each category were singled out for special awards. Today we travel to Basilicata, to the wine hills of Vulture, where on an ancient and extinct volcano, grapes have been grown for maybe 2,000 years or more, and where we meet today's guest, Giuseppe Avigliano, the president of the Vitis in Vulture cooperative winery, whose wine Forentum 2024 Basilicata IGP Rosato won the 5-Star Wines Best Rosé Wine Award with a score of 93 points. Many congratulations, Giuseppe, to you and to your team at Vitis in Vulture. It's a great achievement. How are you today?
Good morning to everyone. It's a very pleasure to be here with you, Mark, and we are very proud of this achievement for our cellar. And this is a good point to start this new harvest that we are prepared for. So it's very important for us. This.
Okay, great. Well, it is a great achievement. As I say, I was one of the judges during the 3 days of analysis of more than 2,000 wines. And I know there were many very good Rosato wines submitted. And so to win the highest award is a real achievement. Giuseppe, we are in Basilicata now. Our listeners are located all around the world, and many may not have been to Basilicata. I've actually only been there twice myself in many years of travel in Italy, but it's a beautiful, still undiscovered region. Can you tell us, first of all, a little bit about Basilicata and about the vineyards of Vulture?
We are located in north part of Basilicata region. We are in Lavello, the first town in the north of Basilicata. The Basilicata region have the Vulture area. Vulture area is an area where was an extinct volcano, Vulture called, and now thanks of that we can make Aglianico del Vulture, that is our principal vineyard in our region. But also we have a different kind of vineyard like Chardonnay, Falanghina, Moscato, Malvasia, also Primitivo, Syrah and Merlot. So a little part of native grape and also international grape.
Okay, so just to for our listeners to place Basilicata, we are in the south of Italy.
Yeah.
You're in North Basilicata. So is that bordering Campania and also a little
And
bit
Puglia,
of
yeah,
Abruzzo?
we are in the
And
middle
Puglia.
of that. Yeah.
Okay, and there's a little bit of Basilicata that has the Ionian coast. Is that right?
Yeah. We have the part of Policoro town on that part, and on the other side we have Maratea.
Okay.
So we have two kind of sea, and also we have in the middle of the region a beautiful part of mountains like Pietra Bertosa, where you can make the angel flying. Is very attractive for the tourist.
What is that?
Yeah, it's a zip line between two towns, and
Yeah.
you make this in a freeway without nothing, just a zip line, and you go down to Pietrapertosa from Castelmezzano. It's a very adrenalinic tourist thing. Yeah,
Oh my, that sounds amazing.
yeah.
Um, Giuseppe, tell us the story of Vitis in Vulture.
We born in 2006, and principally we make only bulk wine and sell only grape. After 5 years, me with my brothers, Antonio and Giampiero, made this cooperative make wine directly from us. And now, today, we produce 200,000 bottles per year. And today we have 250 hectares. 100 hectares are us, from us, my family, and the other part is divided by 50 members of the cooperative Vitis in Vulture. Also, we have a beautiful cellar in the heart of Lavello. The cellar is surrounded by beautiful vineyard of Aglianico del Vulture, and we have a little beautiful archaeological site inside of our cellar.
Okay, so that's a really interesting story. You began in 2006, originally selling bulk wines, but
Yeah.
now bottling wines and working with up to 50 small growers. From my experience in the Vulture area, there's still a lot of very, very small growers who have patches of old vines, and perhaps those are the people that you're working with on this ancient wine land, who then supply you with the high quality grapes needed to produce your wines. Is that how you're working?
Yeah, yeah. We have the lucky to work with a difficult kind of grape like Aglianico del Vulture, because Aglianico del Vulture is a very particular grape, and we are very proud to be here and to have a big achievement with that grape in rosé way, obviously. And Aglianico del Vulture is not easy to grow and to work in vineyard and in cellar too, because we have a very important laws that make the Aglianico del Vulture a DOC for our region. For example, in a hectare of vineyard, we can make at least 80 tons per hectares to make DOC. And at DOCG, we have 60 tons per
Okay,
hectares.
so low yields from old vines. Tell us a little bit about the Voltere landscape. You're on this extinct, this mighty, very large volcano, I recall, on the lower slopes, but slopes that reach up to quite a high altitude. Tell us about the altitude and vines, because I think a lot of people listening around the world, we think that everything in the south is always sunny, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Voltere in the winter, and it was incredibly cold, and it's a different landscape than perhaps what we think of as southern Italy on this volcanic flank.
Yeah, Basilicata region have a different kind of altitude. So we are in Lavello and we are about above the sea 200 meters. But if we can reach Vulture zone, we can arrive at 600 meters. So we have a different kind of that altitude, and also that in the winter have a very rigid cold. Yeah,
Yeah, I can remember that cold. It felt
yeah.
like I was in the mountains of northern Italy.
Yeah, it's quite similar. Yeah,
Yeah. Now, the Aglianico in Voltere has a very long history. Can you tell us a little bit about this long history? Grapes have been grown for literally thousands of years.
yeah. We know that Aglianico de Vulture arrives from the Greece, and it was called in that time Hellenicum, from the Greece, and they bring that from the Greece to south of Italy, and also know that he will be planted in our region because it's very strong grape. It resists at high and low temperature, so we have a lucky of that because they try to plant in other region like Puglia, Campania, but it's not the same. So it's changed totally from other region. So they find that Basilicata region is very good fit for that kind of grape, that vineyard.
Okay, so Aglianico, which I think is one of the absolute great red wine grapes of Italy, alongside Nebbiolo and Sangiovese and Aglianico, and maybe we could add Nerello Mascalese now into that mix. But Aglianico, of course, finds expression in Campania and for Tarasi and in the Aglianico di Taburno. What is unique about Aglianico del Vulture? What are the characteristics that an Aglianico del Vulture has?
First of all, the difference between Campania Aglianico and our Aglianico is the percentage that we use for make. In Campania, they can use above 85%. We must use 100% of Aglianico to make Aglianico del Vulture. And also, we have a strong character, like wine, and a typical hint of our product is the black pepper. Very typical of Aglianico del Vulture, yes.
Yes, a really intense expression of Aglianico. Now, let's turn, we're talking about, of course, the Aglianico del Vulture DOCG, the red wine, but let's turn now to your award-winning wine, the Forentum Basilicata IGP Rosato. Can you tell us a little bit about this wine?
So, this wine is completely made of Aglianico del Vulture grape. We make our harvest before the full of maturation. So we start to harvest Aglianico to make rosé at the half of September. And we work Aglianico grape like a white wine. So we put the grape in the press just for 2 hours to extract the minimum part of the color, because Aglianico del Vulture peel grape have a most of color inside of the peel. So it's very important for us that the grape stay in contact with the most at maximum time of 2 hours. After that, we put that on a steel tank to make the fermentation. After that, he stay in a steel vat for 6 months, and after he finish 2 months in a bottle before we start to sell that.
Okay, so it's a classic rosé left on the skins briefly to extract color. Is it a pale rosé or a medium in color? I haven't had this wine myself.
Yeah, no, it's a simple peel, but the peel of Aglianico del Vulture is very full of color. So stay just in the press before the fermentation, into contact with the peel to extract the minimum part of color. Yeah.
Well, I know there were a lot of rosatos sampled at 5 Star Wines. I don't know if I tasted your wine because we taste blind, of course. But after wines receive their points, the panel of judges, the panel chairman, all retaste the wines and then retaste them again for the wines that receive awards. So your wine would have been tasted repeatedly. And the judges wrote a tasting note and they said, a serious, characterful gastronomic rosé with delicate, fresh red fruits and pepper on the nose. On the rounded palate, texture, there's refreshing acidity and juicy fruit core which lingers on the finish. A memorable example of this style. Is that a fair description of your wine?
Yeah. This description fit regularly on this our rosé.
Okay, great. Well, they were obviously very impressed, and they said it's a gastronomic rosé. So I'd like to turn now, in general, to the gastronomy of Basilicata. As I say, a lot of people will not have been to Basilicata, but I know there's some wonderful local foods, piatti tipici, that every visitor should try. So let's talk in general about some of these food specialties of Basilicata and the wines from Vitis in Vulture that would pair well with some of your local dishes.
Yeah, so we produce principally red wine. So I start from pairing with red wine.
Okay.
Typical dishes of our region is salted cod with tomato sauce and also with a medium Aglianico del Vulture like our labellum, and also podolic meat, typical of our region, is very fit, or other kind of game meat. They are very fit with our Aglianico del Vulture wines. With our rosé, we usually recommend to pairing with white meat, like rabbit, typical of our zone. And for our white wine, we usually make a fish soup, and they are very interesting with that. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a lot of peperoncino in the cucina of Basilicata?
Not peperoncino, but we also work with peperone crusco. It's not spicy, but it's very crunchy, and we use it for condiment.
Okay. What would be a typical primo piatto?
In our town, our typical dish is it was a raviolo with ricotta cheese inside, sweet, fried, and with tomato sauce and pepperone crusco. It's called in our dialect kautsunjid.
Katsunjit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what wine would you pair with that?
With that, Aglianico del Vulture basic, with not too much wood part inside, is very good pairing.
Okay. And then a typical secondo would be this podolica beef cooked in umido or alla griglia.
Typical with an reduction of Aglianico del Vulture sauce.
Oh, okay. That
Yep.
sounds great. So you'd have a more mature, a more complex Aglianico del Voltere with that.
Yeah.
Now, Giuseppe, I know you have a very beautiful and modern cantina. Did you build that when you began the Vitis in Volture?
Yeah, we start to build that cellar in 2000, and we finished the work in 2006, just when we start to make our first bulk wine and other kind of that. The architect that make our cellar is Hikaru Mori. He's a Japanese architect, the same that build Feudi di San Gregorio and Ornellaia. So we are very proud to work with Hikaru Mori, yes, and she project our cellar with three kind of material: wood, iron, and stone. They are the three principal material that she used to make that cellar, and all the cellar is covered by volcanic from Vulture stone.
And you have a small archaeological museum in the cellar?
Not a museum, but archaeological zone. Because when we dig to make the cellar, and we found an ancient Romanic town. That
amazing.
they make, yes, iron. They work with the iron to make sword, shield, and other thing of that. But the particularity of our archaeological site are pitoi. Pitoi was an hole inside of that zone that Romanic use for the fermentation of high quality wines. So we are very lucky. Where we have to build the cellar, Romanic population made the wine.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So the pitoi are the big old doliums that
Yeah.
the fermentation vessels in terracotta.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. That shows you how linked to the past. You know, a modern winery such as yours has roots that can literally go back 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Giuseppe, final question.
Mm-hmm.
Our listeners, I'm sure, would be intrigued to know more and perhaps to visit you. Can they visit Vitis in Volture, and what do you offer?
We are open 6 days on 7 in the week, and we work principally with a booking of the visit. And yeah, we have three kind of tasting in the cellar. We start with the basic tasting with only 3 wines and typical dishes of our local product, and we finish with 8 kind of wine tasting, because we produce in total 6 kind of wine. So you can choose what do you prefer to taste, and we are here and we are ready to hospitalize.
Okay, great. Well, that's wonderful. And are there local restaurants in your area where you can recommend people to find wonderful foods?
Sure. There is a restaurant in the ancient part of our town called Forentum, like a name of our wine, that make typical dishes of our town and Basilicata region.
Okay. What does that name come from? That's the name of the award-winning wine.
Yeah, Forentum is a Romanic name of our town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Labellum, another name of our region, is the Greek name of our town, and we use that
Okay.
to call our Aglianico del Vulture wines.
Okay, great. Well, Giuseppe, thank you very much for telling us the story of Vitis and Vulture.
It's a
For
pleasure.
talking about the Aglianico grape, this great grape of Italy, used to make great red wines, and also now a great Rosato wine, the best Rosato in the 5-star tastings. It's been a real pleasure to meet you here today, and I hope that this heat wave you're going through and all of Italy is going through is not too severe, and you have another good growing season. But many thanks. I hope to meet you, perhaps to visit one day. Grazie.
Grazie a te.
Thank you. Buona giornata.
Buona giornata.
We hope today's episode of Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on the Italian Wine Podcast has transported you to somewhere special. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your pods. Likewise, you can visit us at italianwinepodcast.com. Until next time, chin chin.